If there's one thing scarier than a foreigner, it's a foreigner in a Star Wars Halloween costume. Let's take a look. Welcome back to the Junk Room, everybody. It's me, the Junkman, coming back at you the week of Halloween, where we're going to scare you each day for the main video. Again, 3 videos a day, 3 a.m. reaction video, noontime, a kind of laid-back video where we get discussion going in the comment section, and 8 o'clock, all times are Eastern, where we do a more in-depth video. And today, I was going to look at Halloween. Well, first off, Mega Podtastic, my friend over at Mega Podtastic. If you're into pop culture and stuff, check out his podcast. But he asked me if I've done a video on the Halloween costumes from Star Wars, mostly the Ben Cooper ones. And I told him I had, because actually I've done a video about the story behind Ben Cooper, who was Ben Cooper and all that. And I used a lot of photos of Star Wars costumes. But I went to look and I was like, what? I haven't done a full video on the Star Wars Halloween costumes? That's a big part of my childhood growing up. How could I have not done this? And then I decided to do the video and I said, before we look at the ones that I grew up with, let's look at the ones some of you out there may have grew up with outside the U.S. Might be a little bit of fun. Now don't worry, we're doing Halloween all this week for the main video, and we'll get back to those Ben Cooper U.S. release Halloween costumes. You know, the one that came in the cake boxes that we all loved as a kid. But today, let's look at some foreign market releases. And to start off the video, we're going to go to the deep south of the globe and look at Halloween costumes released in the UK. Now before you go in the comment section and tell me where the UK is on a globe, everything is south from somebody's point of view. Let's look at a 3PO that comes in a boring box. But man, it's a nice looking costume. First is the box, bland and boring as you can see here. It looks more like a cardboard cutout. If I saw this at the store, I wouldn't be sure if this was a Halloween costume. But let's look inside. Wow, that's a pretty nice looking 3PO costume. Why it has a red line around the collar, I don't really know. And it does say Star Wars on it. But other than that, it looks really good. Actually, it looks better than the costumes we got in the US that was usually a smock with the character's name and the movie logo on it. Now, as cool as that one was in the UK, they released this horrifying one also. Again, let's look at the box. The Star Wars costume set. 3PO with his mask. Some reason he's wearing a cape. I don't know why 3PO is wearing a cape. But please prepare yourself for the inside the box photo, because it's going to get pretty creepy. Oh, look at that mask. That is the thing of nightmares. And of course we're talking the mask. It is just creepy looking. I don't know what it is about it. It doesn't look that much like 3PO, and it just looks scary. And the body looks a little chubby for 3PO. Out of the 2 costumes, I'll go with that first one for sure. Well, what about Chewbacca over in the UK? They loved him just as much as we did in the US, so they had to have a costume also. And here's their furry friend in the box, again wearing a white cape. Hey, all you Halloween trick-or-treaters over in the UK, what's with the white cape on all your outfits? Inside the box we can see, well, I guess it's not a cape, it's a white trim. I don't know why they didn't just cut that off. And the Chewbacca mask with red, sexy lipstick. It's not a very bad looking costume. I've seen better, but I've seen a lot worse. But the best thing for Halloween was dressing up as something scary, something evil. So you had to dress up like Darth Vader, right? Nothing was scarier than Darth Vader in 1977. And here he is in his window box. And this time with no white cape that I can tell from the photo. But if you ask me, that kid should wear a black turtleneck to cover up the white part of the neck. And here it is out of the box. And for some reason it has a big arrow pointing to his crotch. Must be some Monty Python joke or something. Now we're going to go up a few years to 1995 to look at a Darth Vader costume released in the UK. Check it out. And here's Darth Vader. Now I come to think about it, was it really safe for us to dress our kids up in all black and send them out trick-or-treating? Now, so far 3PO with the mask has been probably the scariest one of them all, but your job on Halloween is to scare babies and anyone else you can. And dressing up like a Jedi Knight named Luke Skywalker, at first you're thinking that's not going to be scary. But yeah, it's going to be terrifying. Here's Luke Skywalker, a Star Wars costume set. Again with a white cape. Let's take a look outside the box. Oh my God, that mask is so creepy. Oh, Oh, it reminds me of that one time I took Boy Scouts and the Scoutmaster wore a mask that looked just like that when he came into my tent at 3 o'clock in the morning. Oh, it was creepy. But at least he does have a lightsaber at his side. That mask is just, oh. I know it's Halloween, you're supposed to scare people, but come on, UK, you're getting a little crazy with it. You don't have to scare people that bad. Well, what about Darth Vader's right-hand man, or right-hand men, Stormtroopers? Do they have a white cape in the UK? You better believe it. And here's a Stormtrooper, and it looks really good, except you're like, why does it have Star Wars in orange written across its chest? Luckily, the Halloween smock doesn't have Star Wars written across it. And that's a pretty decent looking mask, at least for 1977. Now this next one, I couldn't find a loose photo of it. Sorry. I mean, I spent over 3 minutes looking on the internet for it. So we'll just have to look at it in the box. And we're going to talk about Yoda. I wish I could say more about this costume, but I really can't. Because some store clerk put the price tag right on Yoda's face. So there's really not much I can add. At least his white cape blends into the outfit. Now we're going to leave the UK and we're going to go down under. That's right. Crocodile Dundee country. The home of Usual Mike. And the only place I know to buy a Vegemite sandwich. Whatever the heck that is. And don't tell me what it is in the comments. I really don't care. And this is probably the coolest box of them all. Check out this Stormtrooper from Australia. Okay, you have to admit the box doesn't really look that much like a Stormtrooper. At least from the movie. But it's darn cool looking box. That's fancy artwork. I even like that Star Wars logo. It's kind of got that Star Wars Marvel comic look to it. Let's open it up and look at the play costume with mask. As you can see, the Stormtrooper on the smock really doesn't look that much like a Stormtrooper either. It looks more like some kind of trash can robot. But the mask is pretty decent. But it looks like Australia had the same problem that we had in the US, where they would put the logo and the character on the smock. At least the UK let us dress up like the character, but had a cape. Now here's one of Darth Vader, also from Australia, and I couldn't find a loose picture of this one either, and it's just, I don't know, it's just odd looking. Here's the Darth Vader dress-up set. It comes with a vest, a cape, a helmet, a mask, and a lightsaber. Look at that kid dressed up like Darth Vader. I hope he's 5 years old or older, and to me, it looks more like Darth Vader. And if you have to ask who's Darth Vader, well, you really didn't grow up consuming anything Star Wars related. We've already left the UK. We've got our bags packed in Australia. And now we're going to Spain. And we're going to look at probably the coolest because it comes with a gun. Luke Skywalker from The Empire Strikes Back. This is a pretty cool box. It's got a window so you can see the costume. And look at that nice costume. If you ask me, I'd probably wear that jacket all year long. Out of the box we can see the nice looking costume with a Star Wars laser gun that looks more like it came from a 1940s Buck Rogers movie. And we got a little sticker of Luke Skywalker pointing the gun at us. Now let's say you were a Star Wars fan living in Spain in 1984 and Star Wars was starting to dry up. Return of the Jedi had already come and gone. So what were you going to do? Well, you could have dressed up like everyone's favorite Ewok, Tebow. Everyone's favorite Ewok, Wicket. Now is this box from the Droids cartoon or the Ewok cartoon? Well, I guess it's from both. But inside is a costume so everyone can dress up like Wicket the Ewok. I tell you, if you saw any kid dressed up like an Ewok in the 80s, you were legally responsible to punch them in the face and take their candy. It was a state law. Anyway, let's look at the last one. It's from Mexico and it's unlicensed. And at first you're going to say, that's the stupidest homemade looking costume I've ever seen. But then we're going to flip it over and you're going to say, damn, that's the coolest costume I've ever seen. First, let's look at the front. It looks, of course, very cheap. You got a black cape and some kind of foam mask. I mean, it doesn't look that bad, but it looks like something you might get from a dollar store. But you know, we're going to look at the back of it. Are you ready for this? Boom! Look at this! Now, I don't know what them fancy words say, but I do know that that's a picture taken from the Star Wars Empire Strikes Back Marvel comic. Let's take a closer look. It's just so odd that they put this on the costume. But I have to admit, it's pretty dang cool looking. I like that. It's kind of random to have that photo on the back. But you see the kid coming your way to ask you for some candy. And you're like, what is this cheap, stupid costume of Darth Vader? Looks like his mama made it. And then you give him some candy and he walks off. And you say, whoa! Star Wars Marvel comic Vader fighting Luke Skywalker on the back. That's awesome. Hey kid, come back here. I'm sorry. Give me those sixlets. I'm going to give you a Reese cup. Ugh. Halloween, right? Gotta love it. Anyway, that's a look at Star Wars Halloween costumes from the foreign market. There were some cool ones, there were some weird ones. And later this week, we will look at Halloween costumes released in the US and probably do a video of non-Star Wars related Halloween costumes also. But let me know, out of these costumes we looked here, did you see any that you would have loved to have as a kid? Do you think they were better than the ones released in the US? Again, the UK had it right. They had the smock look like the character, or kind of like the character. I still don't get what that white cape on all the costumes were. Well, I want to thank you for watching. As always, thumb ups on you like my content. Subscribe to the channel, and we'll talk again soon.
Hey, Junkman channel popping though.
Thank you, sir, for that unsolicited testimony.